Hey y'all, I'm having a really hard time today. So, I had a couple things happen yesterday that just really rubbed me wrong. So, I was playing a game, a poker game, and I'd been there for several hours, and I built my stack up to something pretty decent. I started with a couple hundred. I think I was up to nearly 2,000, and I was getting ready to leave, and I end up in this hand with this guy. Um, and this is not I just want to describe the guy to you. Don't read anything into it. Older white guy. And I look down at Queen 10 suited. So I raise. He calls the raise. I think a couple other people call. And the flop is like Queen 10, um, Queen 10, 8, I think. Yeah, it was like Queen 10, 8. And so I go ahead and I continuation bet the flop. And he calls. Well, the turn is like irrelevant. It's like a six of nothing. And so I bet again and I bet higher, and he goes all in instead. And I'm looking like, what could you have? You know what I'm saying? I have top two pair. There's no straight. There's no flush. What could this be? So I go ahead and I call him. The river's a king. And I immediately show my hand, two pair. He picks his cards up from the table and looks at them. He looks at them like this. And he goes, yeah, I think you're good. I think you're good. I think I'm going home, guys. Yeah, you win. Looks like you win. And he goes to muck his hand. And instead of just throwing the cards into the muck like most people would, he finished, looks at me, goes, yep, I'm out. And when he does this and throws his hand in, somebody across the table says, wait, he has a jack. The dealer had pulled the cards into the muck and everything. Now, I do believe that the cards were shown face up. I didn't notice what the cards were because he said, yeah, you win, and he threw them into the muck. One of the other people at the table did happen to notice that one of his cards was a jack. And so the river being a king, he had the jack in his hand. Remember I said it was Queen 10, Queen 10, 9, I guess it must have been. But anyway, the river was a king, and so the jack made a straight, one card straight. And so he ended up, the dealer calls over the floor and explains he was trying to muck his hand. Another player who was not even in the hand noticed that he had a jack. And I flipped the cards back over, and the floor is like, why did you fish the cards out of the muck? And he didn't answer that question. So that was one thing that was done incorrectly. The floor then announces, as a reminder, guys, if you're not in the hand, you shouldn't say anything about the cards, anything about what you see, anything. Like, you don't say anything because it's not your money. But now that something was said, the cards speak for themselves. So we have to award the pot to the jack. Did he actually have a jack in his hand? And the dealer said, yes, he had queen jack offsuit. He says, okay, well, he wins the pot. Pay the man his money or leave. I tried to plead my case, and the floor was like, it's irrelevant. The hand was tabled. People saw it. He wins. Give him the money. And I didn't realize at the time how much it affected me because, okay, we all make mistakes. Dude goes, I'm sorry. No, he never said I'm sorry. He just goes, well, I mean, I was drunk. I didn't see it. He'd been sitting there drinking Budweiser after Budweiser. Ugh, anyway, gross. But anyhow, no. Budweiser isn't terrible. I've had it before. I'm just not a huge beer person. But to drink it back to back to back to back to back like that, it was just kind of ridiculous. So he's sitting there just drinking beer after beer after beer after beer after beer. He goes, I'm drunk. I just didn't see it. I didn't realize. So now he is benefiting from his poor decision making. Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit, right? I paid the man his money. Of course, as things went, I was able to get it back because clearly he was drunk and he wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. So I was able to get back most of my money from him. He gave some of the other people at the table some of the money. But eventually I get it all back. And as he leaves, which he never, none of his other hands did he throw like that. Everything else he just flung into the muck like he did before. This time, for whatever reason, he did it differently. Anyhow, I eventually have an opportunity to be heads up with him again for all the chips. And this time I do win. And I take back the last little bit, and he goes, "Justice, huh?" And just kind of chuckles and gets up and leaves. And I'm like, it must be just so easy to be you. Why? I'm trying to figure out exactly how to word this because I don't want to come off any particular way, but sometimes I feel like my whole purpose is just to struggle. Just to struggle. I'm always working. I'm trying to make money playing poker. I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to sell for my company. I'm trying to keep my job. Like, I'm just always working. And I'm trying so hard to make ends meet. And I'm trying so hard to set myself up for success. And no matter how hard I try, there's always this reminder that makes me feel like I don't deserve it. No matter how hard I work for things and how hard I try, it's just, I get a little bit of leeway. I feel like I have a little bit of success, and then something happens. It just slaps me back down. Like, just stay humble. Like, don't ever think more of yourself. And it's just like, why are there some people that seem like it's just so easy for them? They just coast through life and they know all the right people and they know the right things to say, and even when they make mistakes, they can still benefit from it. And I see poker as a metaphor for life. Maybe I shouldn't, but that's how I see it right now. When I sit there and I work and I work and I work, hours of learning the players at the table, hours of understanding their patterns and looking for the cards, the patterns in the cards, and knowing what to do, and studying and watching the YouTube videos and reading the books, and I'm considering getting a coach and all this other stuff because I love the game and I want to be a professional and I feel like I'm good at it and I enjoy it, and I sit there and I work and I get finally to a place that I'm able to put all that stuff into practice, and it's working, and I'm building a little stack, and I'm so proud of myself. And this guy, drunk, doesn't care, announces that he lost because he was too drunk to notice that he actually won. He accidentally exposes his hand to someone at the table. He didn't care. So easy. And I really want to call my mommy. I really need a hug. I need to feel like it's gonna be okay. So anyway, today is a hard one. sometimes you just don't realize how things affect you until sometime later. Because today is Monday, and this happened on Saturday. It is just now hitting me how much it hurt me. Even though I eventually got the money back, and I got it back from him, it was the fact that if he had chosen to get up and leave, he would have been able to walk away with everything I worked so hard for that day and had worked hard for leading up to that day. It was just so easy for the floor to say, nope, he wins, pay him or get out. Anyway. I know that it'll get better. I know this is just a moment in time, and I know this is part of my story. It is not the definition of my story. But as I'm working to build a business, and I'm working to get my sales up, and I'm working to get out there so I can meet people and I can have friends, because I'm new to town. Not that I don't have friends, I'm just saying in the area. Getting out to meet new friends and new people to make friends, and trying to find contacts for things, and just it all today just feels very heavy, and even heavier because I don't have my mommy. So anyway, just took a couple seconds or a few minutes to do this quick video. I gotta get into a meeting for work, so Zoom awaits. So anyway, hope you guys are doing better than I am today. Talk to you soon.